of the rim. Got it! Oh, the slam. Oh, using Curry way downtown. Oh, what a shot from Curry!
What's up, NBA 2K fans? Dom2K on the mic, and unlike last year, I did not spend 24 hours playing 2K upon its release. I actually just got back to Florida, so I did what I could with the time that I had, which was still a lot. The mode that I am drawing my experience from is Play Now Online, currently 13-0. Part of that is me knocking rust off, another part of that is the mode just being too easy. Yet, I can still tell you a lot about the game because, well, even if it isn't the hardest difficulty, 2K has added quite a bit to smoothen out the experience. There are things that you would notice if you just play the game from year to year. So that's what this video is. With gameplay and other features, I want to tell you 8 things I wrote down that I have noticed about the game. Things that are certainly different. Some of them I like, some of them I don't like, but here's what I found in 13 matches. It's actually like 15 now. I played 2 outside of Play Now. But starting at number 1, I think I have maybe seen 1 bump steal out of all the games that I've played. This is important because, you know, in past years you could just kind of run into the ball. It was actually a defensive strategy to angle your body to run into the ball and turn the other team over. Well, what I've noticed is rather than a bump steal happening, which kind of feels cheap, you get into animations if you dribble into a tough spot or somebody seems like they're gonna run into the ball. It's actually an animation where guys start fighting for it. Most of the time it results in you turning it over, but there are times when you or a teammate can come up with it. That's a very nice addition. That's just the type of thing that feels as if it's smoothing out the experience. Yeah, a bump can happen in real life, but how many times do guys literally just try to hit the ball with their hip? How many times do they successfully do that? I think we can all agree this is much more realistic. You dribble into 2 people. You don't just glitch as the ball pops loose. Great addition. I'm totally here for it. On the topic of animation smoothing out, the catch and shoot. Now, this was talked about as a part of Pro Play, and that feature essentially makes players do things almost to the T of how they would do it in real life in terms of crossovers, jump shots. And so one thing you might notice is you swing the ball around, you pass it to an open shooter, and instead of him resetting into an entirely new animation to get the jump shot up, it's all one really fluid motion. Some players don't even have to dip the ball. This is something that is small. I don't think a new player would notice it. It might feel like it's always been there, but I will tell you, totally here for it. Great addition, for the simple fact that I cannot accurately describe how many times I'd be in rec over the previous years and I would refuse to take an open shot because guess what? That shot's not really open. I'm gonna catch it, and by the time I catch and get into a shot, they're gonna get a contest or a ghost contest. Knowing that you can basically get the ball up faster, that's just a huge plus. There's literally not a downside to this. Speaking of which, that takes me to number 3. You better contest that shit because there are no ghost contests. I will probably have more videos about this on the second channel, but boy oh boy, I was getting cooked. Well, I haven't lost yet, but throughout the duration of the game I was getting cooked, specifically by the Warriors. It seems like players on day 1 have figured out that Steph and Clay can really shoot like Steph and Clay, meaning if you are a fraction of a second late, you're liable to give up 3. And I'm talking, I've had players under them with my hand in their face and they greened it. This is one of those things where I am kind of interested in seeing how it translates to rec once everybody has their builds maxed out and all their badges. Obviously that plays at a higher difficulty. I'm pretty sure it does. And I've already played against my friend in Hall of Fame. Obviously it's way harder to shoot, but this is a difference. This is a difference that they said was going to be in the game, and it 100% is. It's gonna change the shot palette for a lot of people. Depending on what they have on their player, gonna feel way more comfortable taking certain shots. And while I'm on this topic, they said they were gonna buff mid-range, the shots that you would see a Jason Tatum take, guys like that. Yeah, I feel already way more comfortable. I would never try to step back into the mid-range. I've done it multiple times. Hell, I hit a step back 3 that actually felt contested, but I greened it. Just those shots that you would never feel comfortable even trying to create or wasting time to try to create, you can do that right now. I love it. I think it is probably going to garner some complaints, which again, I want to see after a couple of weeks what type of shots people are hitting, because I've definitely seen someone hit from half court with Limitless. That's excessive. The part where people cannot be late on their closeouts, they can't just stand near you or try to get by you and in your vision to count as a contest, I am totally for that. This is beautiful. Now on to something more subtle. At 4, So how do I describe it? Your teammates AI is noticeably improved. They match up better. I'm sure a lot of you know that if you want to manually switch a matchup because you see a size mismatch or you're just trying to do something on the fly, you hold the X button and it's supposed to switch your guy with the nearest teammate. Well, I noticed, especially in transition, my teammates doing that on their own. I don't have to icon to them and try to switch and then end up giving up an open shot. Most of the time, they find the correct matchup, and then when they can, they get back to theirs. That's a big difference. As somebody who loved switching matchups, I never really saw people do it a lot. I probably figured it out in 2KU. Seems like a basic thing, but I really have not seen it utilized that much over the years. And yeah, I was playing as Dallas and I just noticed I did not have to manually do a lot. That 1000% reflects on the AI. And so to that, I say bravo. I've been waiting for that for a very long time. Feels overdue. At number 5, oh, I think people are going to, over the duration of the year, get mad about this. Yet at the moment, I am okay with the post scoring. Basically, if you just try to keep a body down low to stop bigger guys from scoring in the post, it really does matter the size of the body. You're not gonna have Lonzo Ball down there just because he's known as a good defender. You're not gonna have him down there with Jokic and stopping him. You are gonna be forced to bring a double team. Otherwise, you are getting a hook shot or you're getting drop stepped. Post scoring right now, I believe it's in a good place. From what I've seen, a lot of it makes sense. I can already hear what's going to be said about the layup timing and the missed layups. But look, just don't try to unnecessarily mash. Just don't try to spam mashing. When there is an opportunity, it will be clear and you will be able to take advantage of it. When there's not an opportunity, aka you're going up a great defensive center, it's not gonna work. To me, that makes sense. I will say I still do expect that eventually to be messed with, just because I definitely had Jokic looking like Dwight Howard. That might just be something with him. But to the tune that you cannot just have anybody down there contesting and making you miss, I agree. Just gonna sit and let the community chew on that one for a while. I'm very interested to see where it goes. Chew on this one though. Do not jump if you don't need to jump. There's been a concentrated effort from 2K to stop players from basically spamming certain moves. And yeah, over the years, if you would press triangle, you could cover a lot of ground. Of course, last year they added the stamina bar, so when you jump, that is going to take away one. Well, now also, if you jump at the wrong time, you are going to foul. And I'm not just talking about when somebody rises up for a jump shot. I'm saying if you jump and you land into them, yeah, that's a foul now. The player isn't just gonna glitch to the right a little bit and blow by them. No, that's a foul on your player. So you're gonna have to be disciplined. That's right along the lines of how mid-ranges are gonna be more difficult to guard, because you start biting on fakes. Even if they don't go up with the shot, you will foul them. I am already wondering how they are going to handle the fouls though, because through the games that I've played, I will say it definitely, specifically the shooting fouls, seem a little bit high right now. It is not a difficult task to run inside, take a hit and get to the line. But by that same token, a lot of the animations that used to feel like automatic fouls are not fouls now. So if you just go up with a bad shot or you're trying to mash, you really won't get that call. Even with that, fouls still feel high. I don't know. It's gonna take more than a day to discern. In any case, stay on your feet or you're getting ejected. I'm actually gonna add one here. This wasn't on my list originally. I believe this was talked about pretty extensively. Mike Wang mentioned it on Twitter. It's that green window for your layup that constantly is adjusting. So if you hadn't directly read about it, it's 2K's way of simulating how a contest change when you go up for a layup. I can see how it could be annoying, because 1 second it looks open, you have a full green window, and then all of a sudden it's not open. And then if you think about it, that's kind of how layups work in real life. You'll go up, and if somebody comes with the contest, you might need to adjust, or the shot just isn't as open as it was when you lift it off. That green window constantly adjusting to reflect that, I think is really cool. It is a little bit annoying, but I can say that it at least makes sense. And I remember I just had PTSD when they talked about layup timing, because in 2K17 when they introduced that, there was just so many missed layups. I thought it was a terrible thing. I immediately worried about open layups for this one. You don't have to worry about open layups. If it's open, the entire window is going to be green. You're going to make it. That constant adjusting though, that's a really big feature. On to some things that are not gameplay related. Well, not directly anyways, it's kind of presentation. First thing is something I don't know if I like, so correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't play Now a lot last year, online specifically. I know this happened offline, but I do not remember online if you greened a shot, the game switching to that cinematic view. Happens all the time when you green a 3-pointer, which that's cool. It's also kind of infuriating when you're getting lit up. The part that I don't know if I agree with is the dunk, because it also happens if you go up for a dunk that I guess is open enough, or if you, I don't know, if you green it. And it happened earlier. The game turned cinematic at a point where I felt it was in real time. When I look at the replay, I might feel differently, but in real time, it felt as if my opponent still had a chance to contest it. The more that happens, I wonder if players will get irritated with that. I've yet to be blocked during a cinematic dunk. Gonna need more time with it, but I did notice that was different, because maybe the shot thing happened last year, but I know the dunk one didn't. Not online. And last but definitely not least, in NBA 2K23, they snapped with the snapshots, how you could go around any angle and get these beautiful photographs of a moment. Well, at long last, 2K has added a full-on robust replay editor. I'm talking angles, colors, filters, film grain, all of that I needed 10 years ago when I was really running that NBA 2K Instagram page, and when I was doing some My League series that was heavily dependent on stories and whatnot. I needed this so bad. Anyways, better late than never, I guess. This is a really cool feature. They just took something that they did last year that was awesome and built on it instead of taking it out of the game. Would you look at that? I cannot wait to fully dive into this. Hopefully it pumps some life into the 2K film scene. There's not a lot of people still doing it, but there is a lot of opportunity here. And yeah, just shout out to 2K for adding this. There's a couple of things here that I went to sleep, woke up, and remembered that I needed to add. So I do want to mention that Blacktop did get the tiniest bit of love. I have been complaining forever that it's been the same mode. It doesn't look any different. It doesn't feel any different, aside from some very minor things. The change is minor, but there's a crowd there now. There's a drone flying around. The crowd kind of loves the winner at the end and crowds around them like it's Rucker Park. So that is, it's okay. I think there could be more done with Blacktop. I'll take it, I guess. We're not getting anything like PC. Just wanted to mention that was out there. The Kobe Bryant challenge commentary is beautiful. I played a couple of minutes of it. I was listening to them talk about obscure events that were happening around the time that the games were taking place. I'm pretty sure that happened in the Jordan challenge as well, but they were saying things about how Kobe had flown into a game and he was somewhere else, how it was affecting his mood, blah blah blah. I just thought it was a nice touch. I plan to get into the Kobe challenges more, and in the Kobe challenge you will see some different face scans, aka Shaquille O'Neal. And that brings me to the point. There are a lot of updated face scans. Either that or just improved models in general for the players. I think the graphics in the game overall don't even look as good as NBA 2K21, yet I'm seeing guys like Greg Popovich look identical to real life. Pretty much anytime there's a free throw and the camera kind of pans around the players, I'm just noticing faces that look better and more accurate than they have in the past. So that is definitely a positive. They can always do better with faces, especially since they're not going to give the modders a chance with next gen apparently. So far, I would say I'm happy to see some things have been updated, and I cannot close this off without mentioning the intro. I literally, the night before this game dropped, had a tweet in the drafts to go about how 2K had forgotten about intros. I, off the top of my head, feel like they haven't done one since 17? 16s and 17s were so cool, then they just didn't do anymore. They absolutely cooked with this intro, and I could not wrap this all up without mentioning it. I've not yet dabbled into my career too much. I did step in, and I think from the little bit I saw, the city looks awesome. The art team did their thing. I'm a sucker for this type of stuff because back in the day, I always loved PlayStation Home, and every time 2K does some type of extra outside things, it reminds me of that. That's something I personally enjoy, and I'm excited to dig into the city. For now, that is what I have noticed through how many ever hours of 2K that was I played today. I can't say that I was having fun because it went extremely fast. Didn't feel like a drag. I'm sure eventually I'll start getting angry, and it will, but for now, this is what I've noticed. Let me know if you've noticed anything different in the comment section, what you think about these or additions that you do or don't like. Also, be sure to hit the like button and comment if you enjoyed. Also, hit the bell next to my name if you want notifications every time a new video drops. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next one.